All right, so today let's talk triceps.
Triceps.
Yeah, you know those muscles
Yeah.
at the back of your arm? They're often overlooked, I feel like, but trust me, they are crucial
Absolutely.
for some serious arm strength.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, that sculpted look we all secretly crave.
Totally.
Today we're doing a deep dive
Right?
into a podcast episode all about tricep training. And not just, learning the exercises,
Right.
but really understanding how they work
Yes.
and how to make them work for you.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that's so fascinating about triceps is that they're not just one big muscle.
Okay.
They're actually made up of 3 distinct heads.
Oh.
The long head, lateral head, and medial head, each contributing to that overall sculpted look.
Okay, 3 heads. So it's a little bit like a hydra, but hopefully less dangerous.
Hopefully.
So why does it matter that we know about these different heads? Can't we just, do some push downs and call it a day?
Well, if you think about it like this, if you want that coveted horseshoe shape, you need to focus on the lateral head. And if you're after overall size and strength,
Okay,
the long head is your key player.
gotcha.
Knowing which exercises target each head lets you sculpt your arms with way more precision.
So it's about having a plan,
Absolutely.
not just hitting the gym and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of plans, our source material lays out 5 exercises that seem to cover all the bases.
Right.
Close grip bench press triceps, dips overhead triceps extension,
You got it.
triceps push downs, and the always intimidating sounding skull crushers.
Those skull crushers sound brutal,
Yeah,
but as long as you're focusing on form,
right.
they're super effective, especially for that medial head that's often harder to target.
Form overweight, right?
Absolutely.
Our source definitely hammers that point home.
Yes.
Especially for triceps exercises, I guess, with all those small joints in the elbows and wrists.
Yeah.
There's more room for error.
Exactly one wrong twist, and you could be sidelined with an injury.
Oof.
It's important to move with control, especially in exercises like skull crushers,
Right.
where you're bringing that weight so close to your head.
Okay. Noted no ego lifting when it comes to triceps.
No ego lifting.
Let's break down these exercises one by one.
Let's do it.
Starting with the close grip bench press.
Okay?
I actually already do this one sometimes, but I'm curious to hear more about the specifics.
The close grip bench press is a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
It's a compound exercise, meaning it works multiple muscle groups. But by bringing your hands closer together on the bar, you shift the focus to your triceps.
So it's still a chest exercise, but with an extra emphasis on the triceps?
Exactly.
Makes sense. The source mentions that this one is great for adding to an upper body push day.
Absolutely. It fits perfectly into a routine that already includes bench presses and other pushing movements.
Okay.
And here's a tip from the source. Don't be afraid to experiment with different grip widths to find what feels best for your shoulders and elbows. There's no one size fits all.
I love that tip. It's a good reminder that we all have slightly different bodies and what works for one person
But that
works for another.
Yeah.
All right, next up, triceps, dips. These always look super challenging.
They are tough.
Is it just me?
No, dips are definitely tough.
Okay.
But they're a fantastic compound exercise that works both your triceps and your chest. And like the close grip bench press, you can adjust the difficulty
Okay.
to fit your current strength level.
So how do you make sure you're hitting the triceps and not just your chest?
The key is to keep your body upright, almost vertical.
Okay.
Lean forward and shift the emphasis to your chest.
Right.
Also imagine pushing down through your palms rather than trying to lift your body up.
Okay.
It sounds subtle, but that little mind-muscle connection can make a big difference.
Mind-muscle connection. I've heard that phrase before, but I never really understood it. So it's about focusing your attention on the specific muscle
Yeah.
you're trying to work.
Exactly. It's about becoming aware of the feeling of the muscle contracting and relaxing, which helps you activate the right muscles and make the exercise more effective. You'll be surprised how much of a difference it makes.
I'm definitely going to try to be more mindful during my next workout. I'm already feeling inspired.
Awesome.
So we've covered 2 compound exercises now. Let's move on to some isolation moves.
Okay.
Starting with the overhead triceps extension.
This one is a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
It's all about isolating the triceps, particularly the long ones. You can use a
Okay.
barbell, or even a cable machine.
The source specifically mentions using a cable machine with a rope attachment for a serious workout.
The rope attachment allows for a slightly greater range of motion compared to the straight bar.
Okay.
And it also forces you to control the weight on both sides of the bend, which can help with muscle balance.
Oh, that's a good point that isn't stronger than the other.
Yeah.
So lots of options for the overhead triceps extension. What about triceps pushdowns?
Triceps pushdowns.
I feel like I see everyone doing those at the gym.
They're popular for a reason.
Yeah.
Triceps pushdowns are a great way to isolate the triceps, particularly the lateral head.
Okay.
And they're very versatile.
Yeah.
You can use a variety of attachments, including straight bar,
Okay.
V-bar, or rope, to slightly alter the muscle activation.
Our source suggests using a rope attachment for this one too.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like ropes are the way to go for triceps.
Ropes are good.
And speaking of ropes,
Yeah.
let's not forget about those skull crushers. Still a little scared of those.
Don't be, they're just lying triceps extensions.
Oh, okay.
And with a little focus on form, they're a great way to hit all three heads of the triceps.
Okay, so with skull crushers, you're lying down and bringing the weight down towards your forehead,
Yeah.
bending only at the elbows, right?
You got it. And the key here is to keep those elbows tucked in
Uh-huh.
and the movement controlled.
Okay.
It's not about how much weight you can lift,
Right.
but about feeling that stretch and contraction in the triceps.
So another example of that mind-muscle connection we were talking about.
Exactly.
This is fascinating. I feel like I'm actually starting to understand how these exercises work on a deeper level.
That's what we're here for.
Okay.
And remember, understanding the mechanics of an exercise is the first step to getting the most out of it.
Okay, so we've covered 5 key triceps exercises, from compound movements like the close grip bench press and triceps dips to isolation exercises like overhead triceps extensions, triceps pushdowns, and of course the skull crushers.
You did it.
But it sounds like there's more to effective triceps training than just knowing the moves.
You're absolutely right. There are some key training principles that can really elevate your results.
All right, let's dive into those. I'm ready to learn all the secrets to building strong, sculpted triceps.
Let's do it. One of the most important concepts is time under tension.
Time under tension.
Yeah, it's all about maximizing the work your muscles are doing
Okay.
during each set.
Time under tension. Okay. I'm intrigued. I think I have like a vague idea what that means, but can you break it down for us?
Yeah, so think of it this way. Instead of just blasting through your reps, try slowing down the eccentric phase of the movement,
Okay.
which is the lowering phase. For example, if you're doing a triceps push down,
Right.
take a good 2 to 3 seconds to lower the weight
Okay.
and then push it back up with a more explosive movement.
So it's about really feeling that muscle working throughout the entire range of motion.
Exactly.
Not just focusing on the lifting part.
Yeah, by increasing the time under tension, you're essentially forcing your muscles to work harder, which can lead to greater muscle growth and strength gains.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm definitely guilty of rushing through my reps sometimes.
Sure.
No more, though. I'm all about that time under tension now. What other training tips should we keep in mind?
Well, our source also emphasizes the importance of training frequency. It suggests hitting triceps 1 to 2 times per week for optimal growth.
I've heard that before giving your muscles adequate rest is just as important as pushing them hard during your workouts.
Absolutely. When you train, you're actually creating tiny tears in your muscle fibers.
Oh.
It's during the rest and recovery period
right.
that those fibers repair and rebuild, becoming stronger and larger in the process.
So if we train them too often, we're not giving them enough time to recover and grow.
Exactly. You could actually be hindering your progress by overtraining.
Okay, I'm definitely going to be more mindful of my rest days from now on. It's hard to resist the gym sometimes, but I guess those rest days are where the magic really happens.
That's a great way to think about it.
All right, we've talked about time under tension training frequency and, of course, the importance of proper form. Anything else we should keep in mind when it comes to building those triceps?
Well, there's one more concept that I think is crucial for long-term progress: progressive overload.
Progressive overload. Okay, that sounds a bit intimidating.
Don't worry, it's actually quite simple. It just means gradually increasing the demands you place on your muscles over time.
Okay.
This could mean adding more weight to your exercises, doing more reps, or even decreasing your rest periods between sets.
So it's about constantly challenging yourself and not getting complacent.
Exactly. Think of it like climbing a ladder to reach the top. You need to keep stepping up to the next rung.
Right.
If you stay on the same rung, you'll never make any progress.
Okay, I'm getting the picture. But how do I know when it's time to increase the weight or reps?
It's all about listening to your body. If an exercise starts to feel too easy, that's a good sign that it's time to increase the challenge.
That makes sense. So it's a constant process of pushing yourself just outside your comfort zone.
You got it. And remember, even small increases over time can lead to significant gains in the long run.
It's like that saying, what doesn't challenge you doesn't change you.
Exactly, and that applies to so many areas of life, not just fitness.
I love that it's a great reminder to always be striving for improvement, both physically and mentally.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, before we move on, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier about the 3 heads of the triceps.
Yeah.
Our source mentions that they make up a whopping 2/3 of our arm's muscle mass.
It's a lot.
That's incredible.
It is, and it really highlights just how important triceps training is for overall arm development.
Yeah.
You can have the biggest biceps in the world,
Yeah.
but if your triceps are lagging, your arms are going to look imbalanced.
So if someone's goal is to have those sculpted, balanced arms, triceps training is non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about vanity either. You mentioned earlier that strong triceps also play a crucial role in other compound exercises,
Yeah.
like bench presses and overhead presses.
That's right. They're involved in any movement where you're pushing something away from your body. So neglecting your triceps could actually be limiting your strength in other areas of your training.
Okay, I'm officially convinced triceps training is a must. But I have to admit, sometimes I struggle to feel those triceps working.
Sure.
During certain exercises, any tips for making sure I'm actually targeting them effectively?
That's a great question. It's common to feel other muscles like your chest or shoulders taking over during triceps exercises. That's where that mind-muscle connection we talked about earlier comes in.
Okay, so it's back to being mindful and really focusing on the feeling of the triceps contracting.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to adjust your grip stance or even the weight you're using to find what allows you to really feel those triceps working.
So it's about experimentation and finding what works best for my body.
Exactly what works for one person might not work for another. It's about listening to your body and finding what allows you to feel that sweet spot in your triceps.
I love that it's like becoming a detective of your own body. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the anatomy of the triceps, broken down 5 effective exercises, and discussed key training tips like time under tension training frequency and progressive overload. But before we wrap things up, I'm curious to hear your final thoughts. What's the one key takeaway you want our listener to walk away with today?
It's this, don't just go through the motions. Building great triceps is about understanding why each exercise works,
Okay.
how it targets those different heads, and how it fits into the bigger picture of your overall goals.
I like that it's about being an active participant in your training,
Right?
not just blindly following a routine.
Remember earlier when we talked about the mind-muscle connection?
Yeah.
It's not just a fancy phrase. It's about really tuning into how your muscles are working
Yeah.
and adjusting your approach accordingly.
So it's like instead of just doing a triceps push down,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the lateral head contracting, feeling that burn, and knowing why that's important for achieving the results I want.
Precisely. That deeper understanding empowers you to make more informed decisions about your training.
Yeah.
Choosing the right exercises, adjusting your form, and constantly challenging yourself in ways that lead to real progress.
So it's not just about building bigger triceps.
No.
It's about becoming a more knowledgeable and empowered lifter overall.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And here's a final thought to ponder as you embark on your triceps training journey.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about specific exercises and techniques, but the real magic happens when you start to see the connections between them.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this.
Think about how understanding the biomechanics of these exercises,
Okay.
how your muscles work, how different angles and grips affect targeting, empowers you to make more informed decisions about your training program as a whole.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
It's not just about knowing how to do a triceps pushdown, it's about understanding why that exercise is effective and how it fits into the bigger picture of your fitness goals.
So it's about developing a deeper understanding of how your body works and using that knowledge to make smarter choices.
Exactly. It's about becoming your own fitness expert.
I like that.
Someone who can analyze, adapt, and constantly evolve their training based on a solid foundation of knowledge.
That's a really powerful idea. It's like instead of just following instructions,
Right.
you're becoming the architect of your own fitness journey.
Precisely. And that's incredibly empowering. Remember, knowledge is power. And when it comes to your body, there's no better investment you can make.
I love that. So to our listener, we hope this deep dive has given you the tools and the inspiration to not just train your triceps, but to really understand them, work with them, and ultimately achieve the results you're after.
And remember, it's a journey, not a race. Enjoy the process, stay consistent, and never stop learning.
That's a wrap on our triceps training deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another exciting exploration of the world of fitness and beyond. Until then, keep those muscles working and those minds engaged.